Lord. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Pastor Michelle Long, my husband, Pastor Waylon Gibson, Reach Church of Columbia. We greet you in the name of Jesus. We pray that your week has been well. We know that we've been having a lot of thunderstorms and a lot of rain in the last couple of days. So I hope you've been putting your flowers out to get a little water, and you've been safe and doing whatever God has called you to do in this season and in this day. I'm thinking about Issachar and his sons and how the sons knew the signs of the times.
The sons of Issachar were men of understanding who understood the signs of the times and what men ought to do. That's good. Loosely translated, that when seasons happen, that there are certain people in could be your family members, it could be God, could be you, God talking to you about certain, like, you see the puzzle pieces of what's going on, and you start to get what I call wisdom and spiritual insight. You start getting downloads from the Lord on what your next move is going to need to be, because you see what's happening, you see how things are playing out, and you understand when it's the season to reap, when it's the season to sow. You understand that when it's a season to save. You start to understand that when it's a season to prepare for whatever's getting ready to happen, because you see the as Jesus would say, the signs of the times.
And knowing what you should be doing and should not be doing, because we see the Bible always speaks about perilous times, and we're going to see that men are become lovers of themselves. They're going to become proud, boastful. They're going to look at the truth and make it out to be a lie. They're going to tell a lie and try to make it to be true. So you're seeing, we're living in this day and time when we're seeing things that can be turned differently, and it can be used to either justify somebody or make them guilty. And so knowing the signs of the time and knowing what God is saying and how he's using you in this season is really imperative. It's really something that you need to seek the face of the Lord, because sometimes, we think we're in the vein of God, because sometimes when you fall into or you watch other ministries, or you watch other men and women of God and what they're preaching and teaching, it seems not to line up with what God has been showing you. And sometimes you feel like you're the oddball out because you're not getting what they're getting. And it's because God may have chosen you to set you apart from where the mainstream is, and he's calling you to rise up out of the ashes and become who he has created you to be. And he wants you to be against the grain, not always with the grain. Because if you're always with the grain, are you really seeking? Are you really hearing the voice of the Lord, or are you just following the trends? And are you just running with things that aren't godly?
You have to know, oh Lord. So if I'm a watchman type person, a watchman, biblically, Old Testament, this little Old Testament, is the one who would sit kind of like a tower person. They sit in the towers. They sit in higher places because they've been assigned by the government or the king or by the authority to look out and see what's on the way. Whenever Israel was traveling, they also would send out watchers, people to go out ahead of time to kind of spy out what's ahead, what's where, so that armies do this, so that they could come back and say, hey, there's an encampment over here, there's a river over this direction, there's mountains or whatever, there's a valley this way, or there's giants or animals, this whatever case is, and they give them a layout of the land. And oftentimes, as well in Old Testament, the watcher will look for who is approaching, what is coming to the kingdom, what is coming to the city, what is coming to the town. So the watcher would see ahead of time, and then when they see, they will go back and give a report. So sometimes going when everything could be like peace, peace, safety, safety, everything is wonderful. The watchman comes in all of a sudden and says, "Hey, get your arms together. The enemy is approaching. The enemy is coming this way." That situation is very much in the story of Jehoshaphat that we talked about some weeks ago in Chronicles, where 3 different enemies at least came at Israel at the same time. And they got word because the watchman had to come back and say, "Hey, we're under attack. We're under siege." And then getting that knowledge, that word, King Jehoshaphat said, "Oh, we got to fast and pray because what we going to do?" Because it's one thing when a problem hits your life. It's a little challenging, but when 2, okay, I can get some maneuver. But when 3, and then there's a hint of more coming and more calamity coming. Same thing with Job's situation. Job is sitting there and he got the news from one servant, something bad happened because the animals, this, whatever, and I'm the only one that left to come back and tell you. And while one is giving a report, here comes another person with a report saying this and this happened, and oh Lord, your children was doing this or whatever, and I'm the only one left that survived to come tell you. And while he's talking, then here comes a third, and it's one blow after another like that. And in those situations, you got to go, okay, it's time to fast and pray. God, what is this? Like, what's going on? So you can get his strategy. Going back to the sons of Issachar, of men who were of understanding, who knew what you needed to be doing in the season, and in the midst of everything, God will direct and order steps. And it could be whereas for you, every day is like a different season. Today, I'm going to tackle this one little thing. I can't handle the other problems going on right now. I got to tackle this one thing. The next day is something a little bit different. And then as you're walking each and every day with the Lord, it's morning by morning, new mercies we see according to the scriptures. And every day his goodness and mercy is following you. So what he'll have you to tackle or to handle in a day may not be the thing that is right in front of your head on your mind. It's still lingering. He said, but while this is over here, we're going to deal with this. We're going to deal with this. And by the time you get to the end of the seasons of your calamities, he's made a difference. He's made ways. He's gotten you through the day. And sometimes with God, that's the walk. It's a daily walk of trusting in daily bread. Yeah. Not always easy because we want stuff to be handled. Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm in it. I want stuff to be handled. I want stuff to be done. I want to, this has been lingering too long, God. What about this and this or whatever? And I got 27,000 things in the fire. I'm like, can you please get some of the stuff out and whatever? Because I'm sitting here looking at the fire and I'm hot and I'm burning. And I'm getting frustrated and mad. And in some moments, and even this morning, God was going, Joe, and he just kept talking to me about. He's like, Joe. I was like, I don't want to talk about Joe no more. Like, I don't want to be in my Joe season. This is trash. And I'm talking to God, and he's like, strength. It's like, remember strength. What is the way you're going to take? Because this morning I was like, you know what? If Shell said we stay home, I'm getting right back in the bed. Like, I'm getting right back in the bed. I ain't waking up till 12 o'clock. Like, I'm that sleepy. And the Lord went. He's like, but you went to your treatment. I was like, yeah. And you didn't complain about it. I said, no, I did complain a little bit. It's like, I did complain a little bit. He's like, but when you got to the treatment, what did you remember? And it's something that I always remember when I get out my car is when I walk in, I have my entourage with me. My entourage consists of the blood of Jesus, sealed with the Holy Spirit of promise. I got angels and ministering spirits who encamp round about me. That when I walk in, it ain't just me walking in. It's all of us descending upon the spot. And what I'm noticing, I'm not saying it's me, but what I'm noticing is not as many people that's there now as it used to be. I'm not saying that, I'm saying like this. I'm noticing it's not as many people there now as what it used to be. It's lessening up, because when I walk in, I'm praying for God, let your healing be upon this place. Like I'm declaring and severing the root of whatever all this stuff is. We're cursing this at the root, and every time I walk in, I'm descending upon this place, because this place gonna leave us off. Like my mindset, he's like, so if I'm using you to do a work, great. He's like, but some battles aren't won in a day. I was like, because you know, he had to minister to me. He's like, Jehoshaphat's situation was they were more in gathering spoil and getting the reward from the battle that they did not fight in than them having to go and fight in the first place. He's like, that's a wonderful story. He's like, but in today's time, it may not be quite like that. It may be some years of fighting and warring and believing and still believing and still believing and I'm still believing and things look really bad and I'm still believing and all of a sudden they give you the final, well, I think this is the end and this is about how long you got, and I'm going, but I'm yet going to believe. Like, the end of the day, it is to, Paul said, I fought a good fight, I kept the faith, I finished my course. 3 things. And he's like, you have to be willing to, if who's them fellas, the 3 Hebrew boys, whether God deliver me or not, I ain't bowing. I'm not giving in. I'm going down believing. And I'm like, okay, that sounds wonderful. And it preaches really well. And we dance, we shout over it. I was like, but God, in my quiet, and this is the part that I hope saints understand. In my quiet time, when I'm sitting at home, waiting on Shell to get ready to go to church, Monet's eating her sandwich because I fixed her breakfast, and I'm sitting in the chair, and I have no energy at all. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, God, and he's talking with me. And he's talking with me, and I'm in my emotions, and I'm in my feelings, and I'm like, this is trash. Like, this is not it. He's like, well, what do you want? And I'm going, what do you mean, what do I want? I already told you what needs to happen. He's like, so are you changing your mind? It's like, I'm not changing my mind. Have you changed your mind? And me and God are kind of having the struggle. And I'm like, I ain't changing no mind. You change your mind? It's like, I got stuff I got to do. I got people I got to look over. Like, I got stuff. Like, it's too much in me still. Like, no. And he's going, okay. All right, just making sure. And God and I are talking. It's in those moments. And it may not be the drastic stuff. So I'll talk about even with your children when they acting and doing dumb stuff and stuff that you just like, when are you gonna get it together? Like, what's going on? It's the still believing. It's the still believing in spite of what you see. It's the still believing and saying, okay, I'm gonna get back on track. It's the still I know God can. It sometimes depends on whether or not people are going to be willing and obedient. It's those things. You still have hope that God can turn things and he can move things and he can still do what he promised that he said he would do. And also that the dreams and visions that you have been given, the things that he's given to you that you wrote down, he's still able to perform. Even if you feel like God, time is running out. I'm going to remind y'all of Abraham. Remind y'all of Abraham that after Sarah died, he got married again and had more kids. Now, this was the man that went most of his life having no kids.
100 years.
He went 100 with none.
And then you.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, no. He went at least 75, 80 with none. Then he had the Ishmael. And then stuff ain't work at all. And then all of a sudden God had to go back and turn back the hands of time. And he started functioning again, and he kept functioning and being fruitful. I'm saying that, and so we know this is true because he married Keturah, and then when Abraham finally gave up the ghost, Ishmael and Isaac buried him, and Ishmael and Isaac gave their younger siblings gifts and blessed them and sent them on their way. Meaning, all of his boys got along. I'm throwing it out to you like that. They got along. They were not angry with each other. I know people want to preach that, Isaac and Ishmael had issue. Not really. They were brothers, and brothers are brothers. Brothers probably act the light, talk the light, did stuff to similar, talking about, see that, there you go. That's your daddy. Like, just when you got a brother, you understand, like, see, there you go. That's your daddy right there. See, tell me what your daddy did today. It's that sibling connection that when there's no strife involved, it's wonderful. And those are the things that you got to keep in mind, is that God is still able to do. Yeah. I'm talking faith this morning. I'm so tired. I promise y'all I'm so tired, so sleepy. But God is still able to do, and we have the expectation that he's going to do according to his word. And if he does not, this is what I do. I go to when I talk. What happened? What's happening? What's going on? What's what? What's this? Especially if I'm dealing with other people that I'm believing God with. I'm like, all right, God, what's going on? And I'm talking with my people. Are we still on the same page? Are we still believing? Are we still in this? My wife just got her another vehicle, and my only question to her was, "Is this the one you want?" Because I had other stuff lined up. We can go look at it and go get, which to me was like a easy, not better, a easier price for me to handle. What do you want? Because I was already in the point of, God, what do I say with her? And he was like, if she says she want it, let her get it. And I don't like when he talked to me like that about her. Because sometimes I want to go, no, because this one over here is this and this and this and this and this, and that'll be better. And he's like, he's like, who's? And then he goes, who is your source anyway? And I go, okay. And sometimes it's in those small things that you think is insignificant. Like, God, this ain't making good financial sense for me right now because I'm trying to do some stuff and I'm trying to get, $5 extra in my pocket. I'm trying to get $10 extra in my pocket. He's like, sir, who's your father? And it was a very thing of, who is your father?
And that's the thing that got me yesterday. I was standing at the bowl, and I looked out the window, and guess who I saw? Mr. Joe.
Who's Mr. Joe?
The man we always talk to at Scoba.
Oh, okay.
With the braces.
Oh, okay. You at
the salon. He was at the store across the street.
Oh, okay.
And I saw him walking in, and my baby leaped in my spirit because I was like, oh my God, Mr. Joe been coming. Mr. Joe said he's been at SCOA, I want to say 23 years, getting treatment. And he said, I don't let it get me down. I don't let it bear me down. He said, I feel like a dog some days. He said, but I get up, and he said, I got the joy of the Lord, which is my strength. He says things, he tried to make people laugh. He's joyous.
He be flirting with women in the place all the time.
And he's very joyous. He makes you laugh. And it was like, God, you gave me a promise. And that promise, I'm looking forward to you completing that promise to me, because I'm like, wow. Sometimes when people going through things, you sitting on the sideline watching it hurts. Or it's like it kind of weighs you down because you're saying, if I could take it away, I would.
You feel helpless. You're like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, but God, you gave us a promise. And I was like, I used to get disappointed when people that say they support you don't show up. And they say they support you, but I'm watching you on live, and they never come into the building. And it was like, God, I thank you that I don't move by those feelings. I say, because sometimes, like you said, you get downtrodden because people, I got your back, and you never see them. I believe in, if I got your back, you're going to know my presence. You're going to know that I'm there. I got you. But those ones of you that are on live and they say they got our back, we thank y'all for that. But it's better when you see a person face to face.
Yeah.
Or when a person comes into your area, or they're texting you, or they're calling you on the phone. Like Friday, I got a phone call, and I was like, my watch didn't pick up who the voice was, and they was like, I've been thinking about you. And I'm like, I don't know who this is. And it was so funny. It was Kim. And she was like, y'all kept coming in my spirit. She's like, I'm on my way to work. She said, I had to just call. She's like, what's going on? And I began to share with her what was going on. Then she began to share with me what was going on. And I'm like, God, I thank you for people that are praying for you, that are seeking God, but also you're putting them on our heart and us on their heart to pray for one another, because John is back in trouble again. So keep him in your prayers. Homeboy wasn't taking his medicine and doing what he's supposed to do.
I gotta call my brother. So
yeah,
right,
you gotta call him in.
And here's the thing, and I'm sharing a little bit about the not the spotlight of life and ministry and church and being a believer. I'm sharing about the quiet times, because just yesterday I dropped Monet off to the shop, and I was going to handle a couple of things, and I was going home, and I got home, and I sat down for a minute, and a thought came to me about, see, ain't nobody checking for you. And I'm like, no, that's not true. I was like, because I was like, I'm not the kind of, I said, for one, I'm not the kind of person that always need people to be texting and calling. Because you start texting and call, just me. I was like, in the past, when people would text and call, check on you, it got on my nerve a little bit. Not because of them, but because of my dysfunction. Now, I'm say that very specifically. My dysfunction that I'm still being delivered of, and still being set free from, and still learning to receive people's encouragement and love and support and all the stuff. It irks me sometimes, because my old instinct would used to be like, I'm not adequate enough, I'm not competent enough, I'm not good enough to handle this on my own. And that's not the case. I said, so no, and I threw that back in the enemy's face. Like, no, me knowing how I used to be, that's not what it is. Like, but I know that my people are praying for me, because I would not be here if they were not. I'd probably be somewhere in the corner, depressed and sad and crying, not able to get out of bed, because in and of myself, I can't do nothing. But the prayers of the righteous, the prayers of my family, my people, I know my people got my back. My people love me, and I just started to remind myself and tell the enemy, whether I hear from them or not, I know my tribe is strong. They don't have to always show up every single time for me to know my tribe is right there, got my back, praying, lifting me up. Their history has already proven the worth and the value of who they are. So sometimes you got to know, like same thing with our God. You have to know that, no, the history with him, my history with him, tells me, reminds me that even though right now things are wherever they're at, like sometimes I don't have a thought process for where stuff is at. Like right now I'm here. But what I do know, couple of things. If he woke me up in the morning, he has not changed his mind concerning me.
Amen.
If so even when, like at night, sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't get comfortable, I'll feel whatever, the nausea is hitting and this and the third, and I am not want to take medications and stuff all the time, because I got to get up and move, and if I take the nausea medication, I'm gonna get drowsy and sleepy, then I can't go driving, and I can't be driving with medicine and taking my baby. So I was like, I cannot do that. I was like, so let me I would rather just pray through. God, get me some sleep, some rest, think on some blessed things, try to get my mind together, take naps when I can, and rest, and God, what can I do today? And I think Friday, Cheryl was I gotta go and sit down. I was like, hold on. I was like, no. If I sit down, I'm still gonna feel bad. I'm tired of sitting and feeling bad. I'm gonna get up and do something. And I think I washed some dishes.
You cook.
I cooked something to eat. I think I got Monet to wash her clothes, and I let Monet fold her clothes.
Ooh, that was
which was a whole thing.
And she folded ours,
and she was folding clothes. So again, it's getting her folding, and the next day, the value of that was, no, that was that same Friday night. That same Friday night, Shell got the fish. And she fried the fish. Then Shell went to her dad's house for a minute. So I'm in the other room because we had all ate. And I'm sitting there like relaxing. And Holy Spirit's like, go check out Monet. Because Monet started rambling in the kitchen. She started cleaning the kitchen. And then she grabbed that warm fish grease. And when I came to the kitchen, this thank God for Holy Spirit keeping you calm. And I went, oh God, no, she can't do that. And so she had it. She was headed to the sink with it. I'm like, what is she getting ready to do? I was like, so I walked to her very calmly, and I was like, I got it. And she's like, I'm gonna clean the kitchen. Like, I got it. I grabbed it from her. I took it from her. I put it down. I was like, no, it's hot. Leave it there. Like, I'll clean the kitchen. She's like, it's like, you go fold the clothes. She said, okay. And she folded clothes. And I'm saying that to go into she's seeing value in doing things, but there's a training into it. But also, Holy Spirit is leading and guiding. It's like, hey, 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 pay attention, because when families working together, things can flow well. And so it's not to discourage anyone. And she kind of watched, and I left the grease. I didn't touch the grease. I left it on the thing, and Shell put it up. And but it's just a thing of when you start raising up your children and training them in certain stuff, they're going to mess up. Because when Monet watched dishes, sometimes I'm like, who watched this? And she was like, Monet calls that washing dishes. It's like, okay. And then you just put it back in the sink, and Cheryl was like, hey, that was dirty. She's like, sorry. And then we rewash, or we'll wash it later, and we keep it moving because she has to learn. And that is something that is helping to keep balance, because I'm like, I'm tired, I'm this. She's seeing that I'm tired because she keeps rubbing my hair because my hair is all gone. And she keeps looking at me like rubbing my hair and stuff like that. And I'm like, girl, stop. But her compassion comes out, her care comes out. She's still a little bit mean like her mama, but we be praying on that. We be praying on that. We be praying on that because she acting like her mama some days. Like this morning, she was acting like her mama.
I wasn't acting like that.
She was acting like you.
I wasn't acting like
She
that.
was.
Because I told her to go put on something else.
And she was fussing, and her hand got to go, and I'm like, her hand mannerism now was acting like Shell. Like Shell, it's like, okay, acting like her mama. All right, people of God.
But I just,
But 10:30.
I just bless God because, like I said, God reminded me of the promises. And when you begin to see, like, like yesterday was kind of a slow but steady day. And God gave me a chance to, to be able to talk with people, be able to, like, it's not like you manufacturing people to get them in and get them out, because, I don't like looking at nobody over 2 hours if I don't have to. If you just want to hang around, that's good, but I don't want to be fooling around in your head for no 2 hours. I'm sorry. But it gave me an opportunity. I met a new person. And this person was so beyond friendly. I was just like, wow. But she was just like, I work federally, and she's like, I'm gonna hire as many people as I can get to do this federal job, because she was like, it's good money. She was like, and she was talking to another client, and both of them ended up being from the same area. And so she was like, I've been trying to get to that position, and she was like, get my number and call me, and I'll make sure you get in. Yeah, you my homegirl now. I was like, yeah. Yeah, and I was like, wow. I said, look at the connection, and it's just like, stopping to smell the roses and thank God. And that was even a great testimony. I was talking to my homegirl, checking on her mom. I sent her mom to Mount Pleasant, and because she would have had to go to Mount Pleasant, or she would have had to go to Augusta. And she went and toured Mount Pleasant, and they hurried up and sent her mom to Mount Pleasant. And as we were on the phone talking, and we was sharing about our parents, her mother, my father. And while we was on the phone, she got a phone call. She was like, hey, I'm going to call you back because the doctor called me. She was like, your heart racing and everything. And I'm just praying. I'm just believing God. And then when she called me back, she was like, oh, my God. I was like, what's wrong? She was like, I said, everything's good. She was like, yes. She was like, my mom got sick, and she hadn't spoken since she was sick. And, they had to put a trach in her so she could breathe. And they put the cap on the trach, and they heard her voice. So she's gotten her voice back. And now I immediately just was like, thank you, Jesus, praise God. I mean, I had done went crazy up in the shop, and I said, I know how I feel about it. I can only imagine how she's feeling about it. And I was like, and then looking at the progress of my daddy, how he's back almost normal. He's back almost normal, but he's still, he's funny. He's funny because he's like, I'm keeping the boy, Like the boy's keeping you, but okay, all
Yeah,
right.
like Friday, he made me. I'm going to the mailbox. Well, it's raining outside, Mr. Wilson. He's like, well, come on with me to the mailbox. I'm going to the mail. Ain't but a little drizzle. So we, at the time, it was like a little drizzle.
Oh, okay.
So he has his cane with him, and he got the cane, and he walking, and the cane like this in his hand, and he put it down, and I'm. It's like, I don't think that's how you're supposed to use that, but okay. I was like, we went to the mailbox, like, ain't nothing but some junk. And it's just him, getting out and doing whatever for himself. And, just you're seeing your elders getting back to their, it's good when you see them get back to their strength and be themselves and look like themselves. At the same time, as he would put it, things that he talks about and the things that he's looking at and that kind of stuff. And I was telling Dara, the goal at this point is to make his last years as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
However long he decides he wants to stay here. It's like, ain't nobody pushing him out. But as long as he decides, as long as he want to be here. I said, Mr. Wilson, whenever you say you ready to go, you go when you ready. He said, well, I ain't got nothing to do with that. It's like, y'all can't stop me anyway. I was like, no, we're not trying to stop you. I was like, our goal is just to make the rest of your years, if you live 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 25 years, we just want to make it as comfortable as possible. We just want you to have a pleasant time the rest of your days. So however that looks, it's like you want to go on some trips, where you want to go, we'll figure out a way to kick you. Like, I ain't got no way I want to go. I said, something you want to do, let me know. We'll figure out, like, whatever you need, communicate it so we can help you do whatever it is you want to do. You're not trapped in this house. And he was, okay, I hear you. I'll let you know. The only thing he talked about is bring him some lizard sticking.
And his nephew was with him. And he finally realized it's his nephew.
Yeah. So I'm saying all that to go into sometimes as a unit, the thing to do is to always go, however this is going to go, we want to make however long we got meaningful, make it comfortable, make it enjoyable as much as possible. Because as people go, death is never easy. I've been on the end where a parent had left just like that, and I think that's the worst thing ever. But then after other people go, to watch a loved one go is torturous in a different kind of way. So it's almost like, how do you like your chicken? You like Zaxby's or Chick-fil-A? Because either way it goes is going that way. The thing to remember is what is, to me, it's how we're going to make the time. What we're going to do with the best of the time, and what are we going to do? How this is going to go. And these are conversations that I hope people have, and I'm always saying this, have the conversation when everybody's good. And then because sometimes things can go really quick or they can go incredibly slow. My aunt died. They had her on hospice back in 2000, 90-something, 2000, early 2000s. She finally passed away. And I'm saying finally passed away as in she lived 24 years. Yeah. She lived 24 more years. And got to see her grandbabies grow all the way up. Like it's just, it's a thing where doctors and hospitals say one thing, but they don't have the final say. And so it's that. And for me, it's usually up to each individual person of what they want, where they're at. Because one day I feel super strong and strength, and I feel like the joy of the Lord, and I'm gonna be here till, for another 100 years. And then the next day it could be, I think I'm ready to go home and be with the Lord. You give your people the space to do what they need to do, and you have to adjust. And it's not gonna be easy either way it go. I'm gonna say it like it is. It's not gonna be easy either way it go. But we have the expectation and the hope with Mr. Wilson that however you decide, whatever you decide, it's on you. So,
and living life, and then knowing that generationally, the blessings that your parents give you, you have to take from it and live life the best that you can. Generationally, if they raised you up in Christ, if they gave you a solid foundation in your life, Be thankful. If they did not lead you to Christ, but you found Christ in the midst of having your family, you're able to share Christ with them. You're able, like Friday night, it was a guy giving away fish, and I was with Dad, and I was like, "Well, Dad, come on, ride with me, ride in the new truck, so he can talk about it." So he got in there, he talking about, "This a Q7?" I said, "Yeah, why you know that?" He talking about, on that mat right there, it said a Q7. I said, "Oh, okay, yeah." He talking about, "Oh, this a fancy truck." And so when we got up there, we got the fish, and he was like, I done got halfway down the road, he talking about, "I should have got me a bag." I was like, yeah, I didn't even think about it. I just got my fish.
You would have thought about me.
I wasn't thinking about it. Well, he had a list with your name on it.
Oh, never mind.
So I was like, and so
This next time.
it was like, enjoy the moments that you have. Enjoy the life that God has given you. Don't look at why you got to take this, why this is happening. It's like, it's hurtful because the memories are there, but God is still good in the midst of it. And it's like, oh my goodness, these last couple of weeks walking around, and I scarred up both my knees, and it's been painful because this thing taking forever to heal, and I'm like, but I don't stop. I still keep going. And imagine a lot of people that are walking around scarred, wounded, and they're still yet functioning, and they showing up for everybody else but themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that we're gonna have to learn that we're gonna have to show up for ourselves as well as show up for others. But learning, we have been talking about it before we got on air, about resting in God, learning that the work that you try to do is futile in God's eyesight, because when He do a thing, He can make it happen instantaneously. When we do a thing, we got to do step by step, process by process. But when your steps are ordered by the Lord and He delights in your way, it'll be like when you get through the test and you look back, you be like, wait a minute, I did all this and I was dragging through, and then this is what got me. I was waiting on them to offer me an offer for my vehicle. And I never thought to go to Navy Federal and apply for
She ain't listen.
a loan. But I was thinking, I need to have a settlement before I go ahead. I want that other truck off my...
Tell them this is what it is. This is what happened. I'm going to need another loan. They're going to pay this one off, and I need to go get me something else.
And so Monday, I'm sitting there. I went online, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. I was like, now, wait a minute. Wait a daggone minute. I could have been and had me a vehicle. I was like, but I'm thinking, I'm waiting on the process, because sometimes we think the process has to be long drawn out. And
You remember you had 2 cars
yeah,
with 2 car payments all of last year.
yeah, but that one got paid off.
Right, but it did. But yeah, because she had 2 car payments. Long story. But it was the, and this is where sometimes we haven't paid attention to what's been going on and what we've already done, because you had the 2013, you went and got the 2015, but however things went, they didn't pay off the 2013, so you basically had the 2, and you were managing the 2. Well, we managed the 2, and then when you sold the 2013, now that's off. Now you had the 1, then that got totaled. So I don't just go do what you do. And so these are points where I go, learning moments. It's remember this, and to go and talk and to have a communication. I was talking with a young man just yesterday, and I was saying, you have to get to the habit, because we're grown now. I was like, being grown means we take accountability for things that happen. We give the full story and the full account. When I'm working with you to do a thing, I'm not talking to try to keep myself from looking bad or staying out of trouble. I'm talking to share, this is the information, this is what happened, And because everyone has all the information, we can come to a conclusion on how to best fix the situation and not repeat bad habits. I was like, but if you're going to revert to back to being like, 15, 16, 17 years old, you can't want adult respect when you revert to being a child in your behavior. Those two things don't go together. And so I was like, so just kind of understand some stuff. And it's learning lessons that, for me, what I learned was I got 24, I got married, and I went back to go visit my mom's side of the family. When I walked into the house, I felt like I was 16 again. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm grown. And I had to like, wait a minute, I'm grown and married. With a kid. Like, how y'all doing? I went and hugged all my aunties, my uncles. Hey, everybody, how you doing? And I went, and usually I would have went and hang out with the kids and see what they got going on. But in that moment, I went and sat with the adults, with the elders, and sat amongst them. Was like, well, how y'all doing? I was like, we doing good. I ain't seen you in a month or something. I was like, well, I'm honeymooning. Like, if you saw me more than my honeymoon did that's a problem. And so, but I just started talking with them, and my voice, and listening to what they were talking about and different things. Over time, when I walked back into the family the next time, I didn't feel like I was 16-year-old. I felt like I was a grown person. And it's like there's something about, you have to shake off some stuff, because in certain environments, sometimes we default back to what it's always been. And it's easy to default back to the people doing in arguments real quick, where someone will say something to you or ask you a question, then you get nasty, and then all of a sudden they get nasty, and you matching energies, and all of a sudden y'all fighting about stuff, and the thing that was the topic never gets addressed. And then I can't say, you always, you bring up my past and my this or whatever. I was like, no. And I was turning to the person like, I only bring up past things to show patterns. There's a history of this. This is what you usually do. You've done this before. Why do you keep doing this? If someone asks you a question and you don't like the question, you jump loud and mad. Why does that happen? Well, see, because how people, I said, okay then. So you can't want to be treated like the grown adult and revert back to teenage behavior. Because as adults, we learn to discuss. And it's like, you have seen me and Shell on several occasions. We'll discuss some stuff, and it's not always a night, well, baby, honey, sugar. Sometimes, well, that ain't what I want. Well, that ain't what I said. We're talking about the issue, but we never name call. We don't bring up past stuff. We don't. It's the topic at the moment. That's what it is.
But
and once it's addressed, we move on.
You have to realize, though, there has to be a balance in whatever you do. There's always going to be one that is a hothead, and there's going to be one that's calm. And you have to learn that if you don't trust your partner, or you don't trust the people that are around you, it's always going to be something that will raise up foolishness between you, because you don't trust them because they either violated your trust, or you don't trust them because you haven't built a trust. You haven't let your wall down to see that this person means me no harm. They are in my best interest. But you have let a rank stranger come off the street, and you'll trust them more than you'll trust somebody that you have history with. They have built you up. They have done things for you that a stranger won't do for you. But you will let that person come off the street and build you up and blow you up, and then they stab you in your chest, and it's not a problem. But a person that loves you, who's trying to tell you to make the best decision. Oh, they done stabbed me in the back. They done stabbed me in the gut. But they're not trying to kill you. That person that you just met probably is trying to murder you. But your parent or whoever you're involved with is just trying to get you to see a bigger picture, and that life ain't just what you think it is. And people that say they're your friends, sometimes they got ulterior motives. But when sometimes your family has your back, but because you let the enemy whisper in your ear that this person is against you, they have allowed me to be violated. So therefore, you're taking offense to a person, and it ain't even none of that.
Right. So, but that's the way offenses work. The offense works so that it just sits. It doesn't. It's not 24/7 out. The offense is when that person comes around and something triggers, the offense jumps out. And then the offense works to when you're away from the person. If anyone mentions them or if you have a flashback, whatever, that offense runs that playback over and over again in your head to where the memories of all the stuff is fresh to you. Wounds can't heal. Like you talking about your wounds. You got to get those scabs.
Oh yeah.
And then that scab is a little painful because it's in that rebuilding process, it's doing the work. So it's still a little hurtful in the process, but it's hurting, but it's healing. And eventually you look, you like,
You don't remember.
oh. And you can touch the little spots and the marks, and it's just as like a piece of skin with a little bit of,
The crust on
yeah, a little bit of dark, little, blemish right there, but it's okay, good. And if you get the right kind of cream, get some good Sabrita butter, you can rub that thing on out, and then that thing will fade out. So then after a while, you probably don't remember that there used to be a scar there.
Yeah.
So it's those kind of things but that happens over time because we are forgiving. Because when we stand praying, forgive. And so some of us get to the place where we are hindered in stuff because the offense keeps running the playback and it's just open wounds. And God's like, I can't let you go there because you're going to bleed on folk. I can't let you get to your next level because you're going to mess it up. You're going to put on the nice white suit, but you got these wounds and stuff that's still fresh. All you're going to do is bleed through, and you're going to think the enemy's throwing tomatoes at you. No, it's an internal thing. You're self-sabotaging at this point. And so that sometimes is the hardest thing is to be at an ought with a person, having been offended by a person, and then going, God, I'm choosing to forgive. Because at the end of the day, and that forgiveness may take some years. It may not be right away. Sometimes we want something to be like, this instantaneous. And this Sunday we had a whole great service and at the altar and whatever. I got hands laid on me and we fell out on the floor and we hugged and we cried it out and I don't know so much. Went to dinner, had a great time. And then 2 days later, guess what? You remember that old Negro, what they want. Because again, you read their Facebook posts and all of a sudden you you think it's about you again. It's like, no. Cast that down. Cast that down. Because the enemy is trying to bring that stuff back to keep that cycle in your life. It is those kinds of things where it's going to take some time. There were a time where I was offended by some folk. I couldn't even listen to their service. I went to listen to it. I was like, turn it off. Because I felt myself getting them, turn it off. I ain't ready. And over time, I kept healing.
But that goes back to when people say, when you forgive, you're supposed to forget. And I was like, don't tell nobody that, because if you forget it, you'll get back in the same position you was in before. And I don't mean keep it as a signpost before your eye, but also you have to realize that growth and maturity comes over time. When you forgive, you have to choose to forgive people, and you have to choose to want to walk in freedom because you want to be free. You don't want that what has bound you to keep you bound. You want to be able to say, you know what, I choose to forgive. Even if they never ask you for that forgiveness, you have the purpose in your heart to say, I choose to forgive. And I try to wipe the slate clean, but I need your guidance, Lord. I need your help to make sure that my peripheral vision don't always show me the things that they did to me, because the mind is just like a computer. If you do something to me, it's gonna bring it right back up, and it's gonna be in the frontlets of my eyes. And as the frontlets of my eyes, if I don't learn how to cast it down, like you said, and begin to talk to my spirit, man. See, a lot of people tell you, if you get molested, you can forgive that person. And it was like, if you ain't never been molested, you can't tell a person that they can instantly forgive somebody, because it could have been traumatizing. It could be triggering to them. You can't just say, because it happened to you, forget about it. No, you got to work your way through things. You have to say, you know, God, help to remove that from my memory. Help me to see through glasses that are clear, not rose-colored glasses, not dirty lenses. But I need to see clearly, and I need to hear spiritually, what are you saying to me, and how can I get past this? So many people try to make it seem like the word of God is like a genie in a bottle, or like it's mythical and it's magical, and you can just click your heels 3 times, or you can walk around the Jericho wall and it's gonna fall, and your life is gonna be straight because you know you did all that. And it's like, no, it's some people in the back of their mind, they still going through things over and over and over and over and over again until they lay it at the feet of Jesus and say, God, I need you to strip this from me. I need you to strip me. I need you to lay me open and do surgery on me. I gotta forgive, but I want to be forgiven. I got to forgive.
Yes.
And I want to walk out this thing so that I don't look at everybody like they dirty.
Right.
I don't think everybody doing the same thing to me that I did to others, or others did to me.
Or they're going to do to you if I get in this situation again. And then after the healing, after the deliverance happens, there's the renewing of your mind. Romans 12, because Romans 12 speaks about present your body living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So, and then he starts talking about gifts after that. But to be renewed in your mind, because it happened, and it's very much, a lot of people can understand this analogy, where you dated someone and you've been dating people and you keep getting your heart broken, but then you go, I ain't dating no more, I'm going to trust the Lord. Okay, great, trust the Lord. I just want to be married. And so now you want to be married, but you still have to deal with these hurts and the stuff. And it's like, you're not going to be able to get to the place where you can get married to someone if you don't get to know them. And in getting to know them, you run the chance that they're going to hurt your feelings. Now, here's the difference. The person you marry can still hurt your feelings. They may still hurt your heart. But here's the difference. You're hoping and trusting that the person that I yoke up with is not doing things to intentionally hurt me, to intentionally bring me harm. That because we're imperfect people and we're growing into the measure, the stature, and the fullness of Christ, that there are going to be some stuff that's probably that might hurt my feelings, but it's not intentional. It was an accident. So in that, we got to work forgiveness. We have to talk about stuff. Well, I didn't like that, and you, well, I don't want to, and that just hurt because I thought you go ahead my back interest. You do all the snot and the crying, and we get forgiveness, and we work it through, and then we start doing better because we're learning to walk together in agreement. That's going to happen. That was other Sunday. That's last Sunday? No, 2 Sundays ago when you fell. 2 Sundays ago when you fell. It wasn't intentional.
No.
You wasn't trying to drive all the way up to
Spartanburg, Inman,
and then fall, and then have to go to a whole birthday celebration and drive home and be in that discomfort. But it is a great analogy of every once in a while, something, and I'm going to say just like this, something dumb is going to happen. And it's going to hurt. And it's going to be painful. And you're going to have to recover from it. And that is just what it is. Life will do that. We can't sit and if you memorialize the moment and make it a thing, you turn that molehill into a mountain. Now, I ain't never going to Spartanburg, I ain't going to Inman. I ain't never going back to that house because I went there and then all of a sudden it ain't just the house of the moment, it's the people. And then it's the dogs and it's the whole stuff. And then all of a sudden, I ain't going to new house construction because they do this, they do that. I don't like that. Then all of a sudden now you have a whole system of life living that is negative because of a moment. And that is the stuff that sometimes we build in our head and we build up in our lives. And you wonder why people are not able to be as successful or to manifest the things of God that God wanted them to do, because they hold on to all this stuff and but then they'll go quick to Ephesians 3 and go, now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think. according to the power that worketh in you, but you won't forgive. Because again, I go back to the scripture. Mark 11 says, when you stand praying, forgive. You can speak to the mountain, it be removed. Lord, really? Yep. And when you stand praying, forgive. Wait, hold on. But I got this offense and that, and I ain't gonna never let nobody talk to me, and I ain't gonna never let, and I'm gonna, and then your statements betray you. Which means when you're standing before God, I go back to it. You got to do more listening than you do talking.
Yeah.
You got to let him minister to you and talk to you about you and get you straight and whatever else, because it can be daunting, because I'm thinking I'm handling everything and I'm being all right and this and the third, and God's like, no, come sit down. And I promise you, I sat in that chair for about a good 10 minutes with my little lemonade, whatever in my hand that I just made, and I didn't move because me and God were talking, and he was asking me questions and I was answering him, and my heart was open. I was being honest, and all I heard was Monet, num 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 num, because she was eating her sandwich, and I'm just sitting there. Me and God are talking, and for that whole 10-minute period, Monet didn't move, Michelle didn't come out the room. I just sat there and me and God talked. And he dealt with me on some stuff, and he talked to me about a couple of things. And he's like, all right, this is what it is. I'm like, yeah, this is what it is. He's like, okay, we moving forward, or what you need? And it was that kind of, it wasn't a come in and let me just woo. It was just it was what I needed at the moment. And it's just what it was. And God's like, okay. Like, all right, Lord. Comments or questions or whatever, because I'm all over the place today.
You're all over the place today.
Just everything's all over the place today. It just is what
well,
it is. I mean, because I
Well, I want to ask something about, especially when you're ranting to God and you trying to listen. It's kind of hard for me.
yeah.
Cause I'm just, God, I don't understand this. You know, blah blah blah. And I'm sitting there and I'm trying, and then it's just like,
Yeah, because
and it's so hard for me right now to sit down and listen because you know it's a lot of stuff going on.
yeah,
But I'm constantly venting.
good.
Constantly
Good.
venting about feelings and what's going on, and I want to sit down and listen. And I do get dreams. I get a lot of dreams. I don't understand them all the time. But I'm just like, how do I, when everything is chaos, how do you sit down and just
and listen?
It's hard. It's,
Yes.
For me, it's really, really hard at this point.
Yes.
Because
I just want to, you know.
your emotions.
Emotions and
You know, it's what man says. It rattles you.
Yeah.
It rattles you to your very core, because they're predicting something that they really don't know.
They don't.
They don't know, but then you're trying to be thoughtful enough to say, what is it that you want to do?
Yeah.
But I don't want you to go. But if you gotta go, you must go. What about me? I'm lost. I'm left. You know, I'm left holding an empty shell. My wagon is empty. I don't have nothing else. And I've given all I can give. And what about me? What about me? I'm right now. I'm just stuck because I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how it's going to happen. But God, you promised me you would be with me always. You wouldn't leave me. You'll never forsake me. But I feel lost right now. I feel like nothing that I have given to you right now, I feel as though it's coming to an end. And it's nothing wrong with you telling God that.
Yeah.
See, people will tell you, you can't tell God, or you don't question God. You're supposed to tell him, God, I feel this way. I'm sad. I'm hurt. I'm wounded. I need you to come in and do a work. I need you to heal my heart. My heart is broken. It's broken because it's like your lifeline. When I lost my mama, I felt like life just ended.
lose it. She had to go be with the Lord.
Yeah, but I feel like life,
You
my
felt like,
lifeline is gone.
Oh yeah, it's
And nobody, people will say, I understand, but they don't understand until it happens to them.
Yeah.
And then when it happens to them, then they'll have mercy towards you. But while you're going through, it seems as if they, suck it up, you'll be all right.
But
and
some
it's
people,
like,
and some people are bound by their own words. So you know how Jesus said, with the same measure that you meet, it shall be measured to you again. And when people have said things about, well, you ought to be getting over it by now, you ought to be whatever. Then when it's their turn to walk that road, then now they become, instead of saying, now I understand,
I'm
sorry, they get bound by their own words. And in some cases, it kind of hardens them and traps them. The reason I say that it's good that you're venting the way you are is because I know that you're releasing your emotion. You're not holding again. Because again, you hold things in too long and let things mount and build, and that pressure keeps building. You're going to blow and explode. For some people, it explodes into nervous breakdowns, and they get sick, and now
everybody else gets it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean,
I said anybody can get it right now.
yes, anybody can get it. So sometimes that's where you be like my prayer is hope that there's people around who can handle the season you're in, and come to the help and the rescue, and can come to the aid. Maybe not in everything, but just in this 30-minute moment when you go off or whatever, they recognize. It's just because of what you're in. It's just because of the storm you're in right now. And they go, okay, I got you. What can I do? What do I need to do? What can I handle? Because we all need people like that who are going to stick and be faithful to me when I'm not my best. Yeah. When I'm not at 100. When I'm not the most godly. When I'm not the most compassionate. When there is no semblance. If you just walked in and looked at me, you wouldn't think, this is the pastor. Like, you wouldn't be thinking he loved the Lord. Like, he know a Bible scripture. Like, you wouldn't think because right now, it's Hulk smash.
Prime example, Pastor Tony. His neighbor told him, I'm gonna rape your wife, I'm gonna rape your children, and I'm gonna kill them. The next time you go out of town, I'm gonna kill them. Pastor Tony put his Bible down, he put his key down, he whooped that boy grass. He whooped him. He whooped him for everything over the years that boy done did.
Been messing with him.
I said, he's human. You cannot keep pricking somebody or pushing something and not think you're going to get a reaction. He said, I done called the police on this boy. I done talked to you. I done ignored him. But when he said he going to kill my family when I go out of town, that man slammed him to the ground and he was beating that head. I said, I hope you beat some sense into that head because I don't promote violence, but
no. So that's where you're dealing with demonic forces and demons. Even one police officer stated that when he went to investigate, talking to the pastor, that the younger man was across the street doing obscenities, and some other guy was out there in their yard doing obscenities toward them. So there is a history of stuff. But for me, listening to the sheriff of that area talk, I'm like, oh, he's the problem, because that deputy sheriff, that chief is not doing his job, and he's probably
a family member
or in cahoots. Like, to me, it seemed like same spirit, just the way he talked, and whatever. Like, he got, if you don't like it, he can go ahead and move. Like, so there's some stuff, like you're talking about in the very beginning, of seeing how things are going and how things are. I will be of the mind, unless the Lord said stay, I'm out. I'm not gonna put my people across with this. I'm gonna find me some nicer people, multi-diverse group of people who believe a little bit differently, live a little bit differently, so that my family can also see that the world is not that. Because after a while, that becomes how you view everybody of that skin color in the world, and then now that poison is in you and it's affecting you in a crazy negative way. And that's why I go back to, you need the kind of support system, friends and circle, that when they see you not at your best, they're not gonna look at you crazy and say, well, I thought you supposed to be a woman of God, supposed to be a man of God. Nah, they understand that you're human, you're going through it, which is why I go, sometimes you have to not demonstrate, you gotta let it be, let it out, because also I've seen too many people who try to hold everything in and hold it together, and then all of a sudden they crack and they break down. And I'm like, nobody wants that. What I also know is, like you said, God has been giving you dreams and visions. The moments will come that he'll start speaking. It may just be as you're riding down the road, going to the store to grab something, all of a sudden he'll just start talking. And then he'll start to, and he has the way of just answering questions and comforting and talking. I didn't, like for me this morning, I didn't plan on talking to the Lord for 10 minutes sitting on the chair. In a chair that I don't even sit in. Like, I never sit in that chair, but this morning I sat in it, held my little drink like this, and he just started talking. And we were talking. And that 10-minute conversation helped me tremendously. And not that everything was so horribly wrong. It was just my frustration in how things were going and this and that. And I'm like, ugh. And that conversation just helped me. It helped to get me through in the moment. It helped to get me like, all right, we got to get ready to come to service and do what we got to do, and this is the thing. Because, like I said again, I was ready just to get back in bed and go to sleep. And I'm like...
And then sometimes... you angry. You get angry. You get angry, and you just have to realize, Lord, I'm mad. I can't understand why I'm mad, but I'm angry and I'm hurt and I'm frustrated, and I need you to send me help. I need you to calm my spirit, because I'm just sometimes Monet will get it from me, because it's like I'm talking to her and she's just trying to do opposite of what I say. And sometimes I just have to get in her face and be like, I'm going to beat the crap out if you don't sit down and stop it. And she'll be like...
Like yesterday. Like last night at the table.
And she be like... And I'll be like, baby, right now is not the time. And I was like, and I'm not mad at you. I'm caught up in this moment. Mm-hmm. I'm caught up in this moment, and you're the closest to me. And I don't want to. I'm not gonna put my hands on you because I don't want to hurt you. But it's to the point that I'm frustrated because you're dealing with I'm dealing with so many other things besides me, just me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying? Like okay, I had called Sam and I said I need you to cut my grass. I was like, I would not allow my husband to get out there and cut that grass. Yesterday. I was like, it's going to be too hot. I was like, he already feeling slow and sluggish. I was like, I was going to cut grass. I was going to make the sacrifice.
I was determined.
And I was like, please just come and cut this grass for me, please. And he was like, who out there cutting the grass? Well, you know it ain't daddy. You know it ain't my daddy.
Because again, I got my treatment Friday. That's okay. Saturday morning, I'm getting up about 7:30 in the morning. I'm gonna cut this grass. It's like, if all I cut is just the front of the house and the backyard, if I don't get to the rest of it, fine. I'm gonna cut this grass. And then she was cutting it, and I mean, he came in. He was early morning. He was cutting the grass, and I'm like, who got cutting the grass? He's like, Sam. He's like, huh? So I got mad. I instantly got again, Mister, I can do it all myself no matter what. I'm mad. I am mad. And then I went to my treatment. I went and got lunch from me and Mr. Wilson, and I got to the house with him, and I'm sitting with him from like 1 to 6, and watching the news. They keep talking about heat advisory. Saturday, heat advisory. It's going to be like 92, 93, but it's going to feel like 107. It's going to feel like 108. And as it does, so make sure you get your water. And I kept hearing it. And by the time I got home, I think that Friday I was like, thank you for getting Sam to cut the grass, because I was going to cut grass Saturday morning.
I knew you would.
I was like, I was going to cut my grass Saturday morning. I was like, thank you. And not Holy Spirit, I felt obligated to tell her that, because again, my pride was hurt. I'm like, how you gonna get some back up? I cut my own grass. I'm a man. It's like, it ain't about that. It's, she knew. And I was like, you know what? Something bad probably would have happened. I probably would have passed out.
And
or
nobody
something.
home and no nothing.
Monet would have been with me.
But she wouldn't have been outside with you.
No,
She been looking in the window.
She looking. Monet. I'm telling y'all, Monique keeps a close eye on me.
She bring you water, rub your head,
Yeah, rub my head, bring
rub
me
your
some,
foot.
bring me some. If I leave my drink somewhere, she's bringing me drinks. She's making sure I'm okay. Monet tastes good. I am not worried about as I get old and turn 95, 97, 98. Who gonna take? Monet got my back more than anything else. I was like, thank you, because I was going to be out there cutting grass. Mm-hmm.
Let me ask this. So, because I was talking to a friend about it, and I was like, well, how can I just enjoy the time I have left with her?
Mm-hmm.
How can I put everything else away and just, because I'm constantly, because I'll go in it's like, I'll go in the room and I'll love up on her and, you know, what you need, blah, blah. Then I go out the room and I'm venting. Then I go in the room and I feel like the softness and I'm like, and my friend was like, well, Twana, you just need to enjoy it. The time that you have with her, just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Be with her. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I do that, but then when I go out the room, everything is
frustrating.
You know,
it's frustrating.
Okay, you know, because I still have to do things for her and clean up and things like that. Yeah. And she's a little out a little bit, but she, you know, she's still conscious. And the other day, I was just having a bad day, Thursday, and I mean, I was screaming hard. I was working. I work from home. I'm screaming. And she called my name. Out in the mind, she taking medicine, strong medicine. And she called me. She said, come here. And I said, yes, ma'am. She said, what's wrong with you? I said, I'm just having a bad day. She said, sit down. Out of her, like she taking strong, out of her, she said, sit down. And I sat down. She said, you want some of this medicine? I said, I would like some, but I can't take it because the nurses are counting that medicine. I would love to take some, but I can't. She said, sit down for a second. So I sat down, and then she went back. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow, she's still mom.
She's still mom.
Still mom. And so I actually, that made me feel better. I don't know why. It made me feel better. And it was still like Twanda. And I guess that was God saying, enjoy the time.
Yeah, enjoy your time.
Do what you can, and what you can't, don't let it bother you.
Don't let it bother you, yeah.
Don't let it bother
you.
Or tell people what you need. I'm learning, you know, I'm thankful for my support group because they have taken a lot off of me, you know, like Darius went out of town this weekend and his nephew, I called him, he wasn't even there. He wasn't even let me think about it. He was like, I'll be there. I'll be there. Even yesterday, I knew Jasmine was gonna be there, but he went and he stayed till about 12 o'clock. He stayed about 12. He brought Daddy some liver pudding. I don't know why he think we country folks want liver pudding, but you know, he went to Mr. Bunky's and got the hot liver pudding, and he was telling her all the stuff he remembered about my daddy when he was younger, because he's his first nephew. And he's his twin sister's son. And so Ronnie always remembered that my daddy liked to eat spicy hot food. And Jasmine was like, Granddad, I don't think you can handle spicy hot food. He said, ain't none in here, so how am I eating? And I was like, oh my God, I was too tickled. And Jasmine was like, well, you want me to go buy you some? She said, I'll go get some stuff and make sure. I know I can give you my card and you can go buy stuff. She said, Granddad, I wouldn't take your money. I'll buy my own. You better not spend your money to buy nothing. I get it. And I was just like, you know, it was a funny moment. But like I said, she called me this morning. She was like, Auntie, I got to go to work. And I'm going to leave Carson here with Granddaddy. And, you know, and I told Carson, call me or call you. And you know, and daddy, I'm watching the little boy. He watching the little boy. I said, little boy watching you, but but it's a blessing when you can have a support group. When I began to tell them I can't do everything, they stepped in to help. And you don't know what a relief that is when somebody, you know, I ain't got to worry about cleaning because he called her the maid because she's constantly clean. The little girl be cleaning all the time. And then Melissa go visit, he called her the maid too. He say, every time she come over, she clean, leave the house really looking really good. I'm like, okay, Dad. I said, she just came to take care of you. He was like, okay. But we don't realize we need
Other people,
that support.
You need the support.
And you need sometimes just to get away. Not that you don't want to be with her, but you need to have that moment where you can
need to unplug.
I'm getting like, and again, another friend was like, you know, let the control go.
Yeah.
Because I feel that control, like I need to be there, but I am getting to the spot where I need to go do things. I can't be here, and I have people who came. Listen, we've been really busy. People coming in and out, and they, one of the ladies brought us food and stuff like that, and I was like, thank you, I appreciate that, because it seemed like when I'm fixing something, she don't want it.
Yeah, but somebody else she'll tear it up. Yeah.
So and this morning, because she didn't eat all yesterday, but a little bit of stuff, and so I fixed her some grits this morning, and the girls were at the house, and they was like, oh, she ate all of it.
Oh,
and
good.
I was like, that's good, because last night I gave her some soup. She only ate a little bit of it. But this morning, she's like, she ate all her food.
So she was
I
hungry.
was like, oh, that's good. That's good. So I'm trying to relinquish the control and allow people to come in and help. And, because they're like, oh, what you need? And I'm like,
I don't need nothing. And you really just say,
stop it.
Yeah.
And sometimes the question not what you need, because you're like, what I need? Like, that's the wrong question. It's like, what can I do? Sometimes like just give them something to do. How can I help you? How can I assist? What's going on? Because sometimes it's just, well, can you sit here and be here and just let me go to the store real quick? And you ain't really going to the store. You just need to go drive, just get away and just be in the car. If you need to scream, whatever case is. But it is really enjoying your time and as much as possible and doing all that and just allowing God to continue to show you the beauty in all of it. This is the one thing I can honestly say, that I think my mother's love is stronger now today than it was when she passed away. Like, I still feel it. It doesn't go anywhere. It'll be moments that I'm riding down the road and I'll step you like, Waylon? And I'm like, oh, Lord. And it's just like the lessons and the stuff that they instill in you don't go away. It doesn't, which for me is a wonderful thing. Because I love to know that love is still keeping me strong. And helping me to push forward, especially on them days where I'm sitting there at SCOA and I'm like, she used to walk these same halls. Like, it's creepy and it's frustrating. And I'm like, this is not going like it stops here. And so I think that's why sometimes I'm like, okay, I know how to persevere because she set that great example. I was like, now let's take this to the next level. But that love that your mama got for you is never gonna leave.
But I'm gonna tell you, when we left school a couple of months ago, we gave the staff flowers. I said, you know what, I want to tell them I appreciate it, because she wasn't even supposed to. They was giving her 4 years, and that was in 2014. You know what I'm saying? So it's past 10 years. And so because I was like, God, fussing and ranting, but I was like, she was only supposed to survive 4 years. It's been over 10 years.
Bless you.
And I was talking to God about it and realizing, I said, you know what, God, because my dad passed in 2009, and when she got the diagnosis, it was only like 4 or 5 years. And I knew that if it had happened then, I wouldn't have survived. But now so many years afterwards, and I've got to enjoy my mom. Not like I'm trying to put it in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, you know, God did that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Because even the doctor was like, wow, I wasn't even expecting, you know, I could tell he wasn't even expecting it. And she stopped treatment years ago.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's still amazing. You know, it's still amazing.
Slapping her head. That's a blessing. That's a blessing because, you know, like Waylon auntie, they only gave her
Not long.
not long, and she lived for about 20 years.
Yeah, 24. She's 24
No,
years.
I'm talking Aunt Bev.
Beverly. Oh yeah, she did. Yeah, she did 20 years.
Yeah, she lived 20 years, and they gave her up many times.
Yeah.
So, you know, God has the final say, but, you know, just we're here to support you in anything that you need.
Yeah.
Anything, you know. 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, you can call. We're there because
We will answer.
I know, you know. We lost our mama suddenly, you know.
Yeah, I think, and like I said again, from my end of it, my side of the coin, that's trash. Because,
We never got to say goodbye.
or even take on vacation, because we were going to go on vacation that year. But she kept saying, I'm going home. But again, it's the probably no matter how it comes, you're not going to like it either kind of way.
It is.
So again, it is one of those things of life, and that's why it is often good. I always harp on it. You gotta have your conversations when everything is well, so people know how they need to step up and how they need to maneuver, and have it in the back of their mind. Because sometimes when life happens the way it starts to happen for some people, and it's their time of departure, folk who like, I ain't ready. No. It's time now to shift. Some stuff has to be put on hold. Some things have I got dreams and aspirations. Maybe I'll get to it afterwards. But right now, we got to do this. And you want everybody to have that same mindset so that it's not taxing or strenuous on any one person. So we'll definitely keeping you in prayer in that and everything else. If there are no other comments, we'll go ahead and dismiss. But people keep praying. It's you
Keep supporting one another.
supporting one another. Keep praying. Keep believing the Lord. Keep lifting people up, and look for ways to be a help and a strength to somebody. And that's why when you're doing these acts of kindness for people, you never know what someone could be in the middle of. And your act of kindness is just enough, a little bit of brightness, a little bit of sunshine that just goes, okay, whew. All right. It gives them a moment to breathe, gives them a moment to relax a little bit. And they may not tell you all their life story, but it encourages them so that when they get back into what they're involved in, their mind has shifted, their perspective has shifted. They've gotten some new strength. They've gotten re-energized. They've gotten some blessing from it. So continue to do acts of kindness, continue to sow into people, continue to love on people, and continue to walk in forgiveness, Lord Jesus. Walk in forgiveness. Ask God daily, if you have to, like, God, help me to get over these offenses. Help me to not hold it against folk, that when I see them, let me not respond to them the way I used to. Let me not respond to them as if I'm still offended.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so y'all go with God and be blessed, and
Y'all
have a good one. I guess we'll see y'all Tuesday.
That's still July.
Hmm?
No, that's still June.
I guess we'll see him Tuesday.
Yeah, it's June 30th.
That's June 30th. That's still
Oh, we still on break?
Yeah, you said till July.
Oh, well, we'll see y'all next Sunday then.